Monster Heroes, Zombies and Meatballs by Blake Hona. Chapter 1. Brains or Brian?
Brains or Brian?
Brian was at his desk working when he heard a strange noise. Brains! Came a loud moan. Brian glanced around his room. Did someone just say my name?
Did someone just say my name?
Brian whispered.
Brian whispered.
Brains!
Brains!
Came the moan again.
Came the moan again.
Only this time it was louder.
Only this time it was louder.
Brian looked up from his homework.
Brian looked up from his homework.
He was getting annoyed.
He was getting annoyed.
He was also getting a little scared.
He was also getting a little scared.
Who keeps calling my name?
Who keeps calling my name?
He asked out loud. His friends were always saying he studied too much.
His friends were always saying he studied too much.
Maybe they were outside trying to scare him.
Maybe they were outside trying to scare him.
Knock it off, you guys,
Knock it off, you guys.
Brian said. I'm trying to study. When the moaning continued, Brian realized it wasn't his friends. He went over to his window and looked outside. What he saw scared him more than the moaning. Oh no! He gasped. Zombies were everywhere. Hundreds of them lumbered and stumbled about. They destroyed everything in their path, including plants, trees, and mailboxes. Brains! They moaned. Brian knew that a horde of hungry zombies could be a danger to anyone with a brain. Brains! They moaned louder. They are saying brains, not Brian, Brian said. It's true what people say about zombies. They really are hard to understand. Brian needed to take action, and he had to do it fast. He made his way downstairs and peeked outside. More and more zombies filled the streets. What is going on? Brian asked quietly. The other zombies are usually so well behaved. Brains! They moaned. Then Brian saw the problem. Down the block was Tofu Brains Deli and Coffee Shop. A closed sign hung outside. That's it. They are all hungry, Brian said. Brains! The zombies moaned. I need to call my friends, Brian said. We need to meet at our hideout right away. Chapter 2. Where are the brains? Brian's friends were not like other monsters. They did not hurt or scare people. Brian's friends helped people. They used their special monster powers for good. They wanted to be like superheroes and save the day. Brian lumbered to the cemetery and climbed up to the hideout. His friends were already there. Mina hung upside down in one corner. Will floated in another corner. Linda sat in a chair with her pet caterpillar sitting on her shoulder. What's wrong? Linda asked. The Tofu Brain Deli and Coffee Shop closed, Brian said. No way! Mina shouted. I loved that place. So did I. But why is that such a big problem? Will asked. There are other places to eat. But that's where all the zombies eat. Now they are hungry, Brian said. They are forming a horde. His friend's eyes went wide with fear. Sure, zombies were slow and clumsy, but a horde of them was unstoppable. They would eat and destroy everything in their path. They will look for anyone or anything with a brain, Brian said. And then, this is a big problem, Will said. It sure is, Brian said. Mina held up a map of the city. Where do you think they will go?
Where do you think they will go?
She asked. That's easy, Brian said. Victor Frankenstein Elementary School had the most brains in town. Brian looked at the map. He put a finger on Zombie Town. Then he traced the streets leading to the elementary school. This is the path they will follow, Brian said. How do we stop the horde from getting there?
How do we stop the horde from getting there?
Will asked. Brian studied the map. There were stores and restaurants along the way to the school. That's it, Brian said. What's it? Linda asked. A trip to the meatball shop.
A trip to the meatball shop.
That's what Brian said. Getting a bite to eat? Mina said. That's your brilliant plan?
That's your brilliant plan?
Just trust me, Brian said. Chapter 3. Meatball Brains. The friends stood outside Randy's meatball sandwich shop. The meatballs here are really good, Will said. And they kind of look like little brains, Brian said, holding one up. Now, huddle up, team. Brian whispered his plan. They all agreed and got into position. Linda waved her wand at the restaurant's sign. Your name must change, she chanted. Poof! The sign now read Igor's Meatball Brainwich Shop. Linda's job was done. Now it was Brian's turn. He joined the zombie horde. Brains! The zombies moaned as they lumbered down the street. Meatballs! Brian groaned. Brains! The zombies moaned again. Meatballs! Brian groaned louder. The zombies kept moaning. Brian kept groaning louder. Soon, the zombies' moans changed to groans. Brian's job was done. Meatballs! The zombies groaned. Will tied a string to a meatball. Then he took off his sheet. Now he was invisible. Will used the meatball on a string to lead the zombies to the sandwich shop. Will pulled the meatball away as soon as the zombies reached for it. Meatballs! The zombies groaned. Brian groaned along with them. Meatballs! Brian and the zombies followed Will right to the restaurant. Will's job was done. Now it was Mina's turn to take over. Mina quickly made stacks and stacks of meatball sandwiches. Then she changed into a bat. She fluttered about the restaurant. The horde of zombies entered the shop and attacked the piles of meatball sandwiches. Meatballs! The zombies groaned. The friends regrouped outside the sub shop. They watched as the zombies
They watched as the zombies
ate every sandwich in sight.
sandwiches inside.
We stopped them, Linda said. The monster heroes saved the day again, Mina said. That's because we make a great team, Brian said. We sure do, Will mumbled between bites. What? Nobody else is hungry?